guys, as I'm hoping you can see, guys and girls, sorry, I've added a fair bit more to my maze game than what we saw last time. What we're going to go through in this video is adding some coins in, so you get rewards, so scoring, and also more enemies using health, lives, scoring as I said, and also barriers that you have to collect all the coins before you can get to the door. Now, first thing I want to go through with you is, I'll show you my first room. In here, I have it so you collect the coin. As soon as you collect that coin, this barrier here will disappear. In a second room, that's that large room, I've got lots of coins that you have to collect. Again, you have to collect them all, so the barrier disappears. I also have two different bad guys. I've got one called H enemy, so it's horizontal, so going left and right, and one called vertical, and that one's going up and down. The next room uses views. Now remembering, with this room, if I go to views, I've enabled the use of views, visible when room starts, it's following object player, and these two values here need to be 320 by 320. By doing that, you'll only see the space of the room inside this rectangle, and that will move all the way around. I've not set this so that you have to collect all the coins because I thought that would be too challenging, but I still have the horizontal and vertical enemies. I call this room here small but hard. Now it is smaller, there are lots of coins that you need to collect. Actually, I will just now add in the barrier there. But I've also got another enemy here. It's called enemy follow, and this enemy, as soon as you get close to it, will start following you. So, and there's also horizontal and vertical enemies as well. Okay, so that's all the objects that I've added. Remembering, I've got object bomb is my shooting. First thing I'd like to go through with you is shooting, just to make sure you are okay with that. So, object player. Now, first thing, I've made my sprite for my bomb or my bullet, and an object for my bullet. I've set it, remembering the variables. We made a variable called facing, and that's here. So for left, I'll start at right, because right is 0. So just like a circle, right is 0, up is 90, left is 180, and down is 270. If I go to control, instead of variable, a variable is something that can change. In this case, we're calling it facing, and we're going to set it to be the direction. So set variable facing to 0 for right. Up, variable facing is 90. Left is 180, and down is 270. Now, when I press space, we're going to create a moving instance of object bomb. That is in main 1. It is this button here. We're going to create object bomb at 0, 0 relative. Relative is important here. That will put it in the middle of that main character. I've given mine a speed of 15, so it goes faster than I'm moving. And for direction, it's the variable facing. So whatever the variable is set to, so 0, 90, 270, 180, it will send the bullet in that direction. Okay, so that's how you make shooting work. Now the other thing I needed to do was in object bomb, if you collide with the wall, destroy yourself. As I said, I'm just going to skim over these ones because you should know how to do it. If you collide with objects horizontal enemy, you need to destroy both you and so you have to destroy the enemy and yourself, otherwise the bullet hits and it just keeps going. We want them both to be destroyed. Same with vertical enemy and enemy follow. With these, all I did was I just set up one, then right clicked on it and went duplicate and collision with, say, B enemy. And that's how I set that one up. Just a way to save time. So, the one thing I didn't do was I'd like to give points for killing enemies. So I'm going to say score. I'm going to score over here, and I'm going to make that worth 10. Well, for the horizontal and vertical enemies, I'm going to make them worth 10. So I have to go vertical enemy now, make it worth 10. Enemy follow, who's going to be a little bit harder, you're going to be worth 20. Oh, I forgot I need to make sure I tick relative. Because if I don't tick relative, the score won't change. Relative takes the value for what it was beforehand and just changes it by the amount. So, that's how I get shooting and destroying the enemies working. So if I go back to Object Player, I actually need to set it up so that my scoring is visible. And my lives and my health, because I'm going to move on to lives and health now. So, that was that variable facing, which we have to set up first. This button here is under score. It's this one here. And what it does, it chooses what you show. So I want to show my score, and I want to caption this score. I could change it to any other word I like. Lives, show, again, and health, show. I can just click here and change it if I don't want to show health. Okay, then you say OK. The other thing I need to do is when the game starts, you need to tell the game what your health and lives should be starting at. I'm starting my health at 100. So that is here, set health, that's 1. Set it to 100, not relative in this occasion. And lives, I've set it to 3. So that's setting it up. Now, we need to make sure that we do lose health and lose lives when we collide with our enemies. So, I'm still in Object Player, and I've got a collision here with the horizontal enemy. And all that does is set lives to health to -10. So when you collide with it, you start losing -10. And every instant that you're touching that character, that enemy, you will keep losing life. So your life will disappear fairly quickly if you don't shoot it. Same with vertical. Vertical enemy is the same. Now, as I said, I thought enemy follow should be harder, so I'm actually going to make that you lose health twice as fast. Now, next step, we need to decide what happens when we run out of health. So there's an event here, and it's in Other, and it's called No More Health. Alright, so Other, No More Health. Turns out I've already got that here. So when I run out of health, I'm going to set my life to -1, so I'm not relative, I'm going to lose a life. And then I have to reset my health back to 100, otherwise I just start back at 0. And that really doesn't work. So the other thing is no more lives. It's the same. Add event, Other, no more lives. But when that happens, I want to just actually end the game. So under score, there's this button here, which is show the high score table. And the game keeps track of who scored the highest. And you can choose your different colours. If you'd like to change your font, which is a little bit more annoying, but you can do it still. Right, there we go. There. Okay. And then say OK. So now, when the game, so you show your high score, and then the game ends. Alright, now, so let's just run this game for a minute and have a look at what it looks like. So, there's the barrier which I need to show you how to do, but if I collect my coin, the barrier disappeared. It's going to go through this room. You'll notice that I've added backgrounds. There we go. Now I have my horizontal and vertical enemies. If I shoot, he disappears. Now, my scoring isn't showing because this room is too big. I might need to look at that later on. It's rather annoying. Right, let's go. So I've got to go through here and collect everything. There. And let's go back down here. Oh, now I know that should show that my lights were just disappearing. I'm not doing this in the most logical fashion, I'm sorry. The problem is in the maze. Right. So through here, back down. Now, some of you will know, I've actually set a block here, a secret block, that I can just go through. I'll show you how to do that in a minute. Now I'm going to go up here. Around here, get that. Go back. There we go. Disappeared. I go through to here. Now, I've used the wrong. I put my vertical monster here where it should be my horizontal one. So I'll need to go back and fix that. I can of course go through and collect everything. Now, I happen to know, again, a cheat, there's that. Oh, I don't have a block there, that's annoying. I did have. Okay, I've got to find my way through. Right, there we go. Now, see, I've got characters moving, but I've got those skeletons that are just stationary at this point in time. As soon as I'm on the same row, they start to move towards me. There we go. Oh, he got me. I died. Alright, now, what I need to show you now is how to make the lock work. So, and make the enemy follow as well, so there's only a couple of things left. So, there's no coding coin. Object barrier though. Now we're going to use an event called a step event. Step event checks this stuff about 30 times a second. So, that's just add event and step, so 30 times a second it checks if it can do this. Remember this shape tile here is a question. So what this one is checking, oh by the way, I'll show you, it is in control. This one here is a question. And what it does is it checks the number of instances. So how many coins are there? I've chosen. So I've got it to look for coins. And so when coins is 0, when it's equal to 0, I could choose larger than smaller, but I want it to equal 0. So when it equals 0, destroy the instance. And I want to destroy the instance of itself, so I'll destroy the barrier so it disappears. I say okay, and that will just, so when there's no more coins left, that barrier will disappear and I can go to the door. Right, now this one here, enemy follow, again it's another step event. But what I've used is step towards point. There's this one here, again in move. Now, I said object player.x, so it takes the x coordinates of object player. Now, you clearly, if your player isn't called object player, if it was called something else, then that's what you'll type. If it was object ball, it would be object ball.x and object ball.y. Alright? The only other thing I had to, and then speed 7 and solid only. So, you can change it so all instances or not. See how it goes for you. Right, I think I had to go back and change my wall to solid. So if your wall isn't ticked solid, this may not work properly. So you try it, if it doesn't work, do that. Now, I think that's everything that I had. The secret walls that I put in. All I've done here is I've made object wall here. I duplicated it, called it object wall path. But in object player, there is a collision with object wall. And that makes him stop. There's no collision with object wall path, which means that he can go straight through that wall. That's a good way of putting shortcuts in. If you look at this room here, I put object, and if you see just below where my arrow is, it tells you what the object is. If I move it to there, now it says that's object wall path, and so is that. That means a couple of things. As far as testing goes, I can just go straight up here, straight down, straight across, and hopefully be out. So it can come in handy. It's a good little way to make your game that little bit more interesting. Alright, there's enough there to keep you guys going for a fair while. If you do get stuck, help each other out.